Hello and welcome to Devil's Advocate. With just 5 weeks to go, does Congress seriously expect to win the elections in Karnataka? That's the key issue I should explore today with the former Chief Minister, now Chairman of the party's Election Management and Coordination Committee, S M Krishna. Mr. Krishna, given all the problems the Congress faces, can you concede that it's extremely unlikely your party is going to win the elections?
Well, whenever Congress has fought the elections, we have fought with certain odds within ourselves. But every time, except perhaps in 2004, we have come on top. So I'm sure that we will make it.
Those could be brave words. Let's look at some of the serious problems you face. To begin with, the BJP believes that they have a sympathy wave behind them, and given that their vote share has increased by nearly 700% from 4.1% in '89 to 28% in 2004, if they do have a sympathy wave, they literally sweep to power.
Well, I think they have peaked in 2004, and I don't think that they have any further to go.
On what basis do you say they've peaked?
Well, I think Congress party has proved a point that A, it can provide a stable government to the state, B, it can provide sustainable programs.
The government you formed in 2004 didn't even last for 2 years.
Well, that was
There's nothing stable.
You were talking about a coalition government.
A Congress chief minister.
I'm talking about a Congress government, not Congress-led government.
But the Congress government you led for 5 years may have lasted its full term,
yes,
but it got badly defeated in the polls. You came back with almost 40% of your seats lost.
Well, there were very important reasons, We had 4 continuous years of drought, We had the Kaveri problem. We had the Veerappan problem. All these problems, made the people restless.
And look at
the biggest factor for the Congress's defeat in 2004, if I can say it, it is the drought which haunted Karnataka for 3 successive years.
And this year you may have inflation, but let's come to the problems you face this time one by one. You see, it's not just that the BJP believes they have a sympathy wave. Your vote share is under attack. People who should be your allies like the Samajwadi Party are instead supporting your rivals, the JDS. The Bahujan Samaj Party is contesting every single one of the 224 seats. Your vote share is going to be eaten into. You're going to be attacked from both sides.
Well, in an election, we do face such developments.
But this is a pincer attack.
BSP even fought in 2004. They had set up a few candidates.
But they're much stronger now.
This time, they might set up more candidates, I'm not disputing that. But Samajwadi Party and various other parties, smaller parties, they have never been a factor in elections in Karnataka.
But look this time and see why they could be a factor. It's not just that the BJP is stronger. It's not just that your vote share is being eaten into. Worst of all, inflation is cutting into your popularity. When it was 6.68% last week, people were already blaming Congress in Delhi. Now that it's hit 7%, they may consciously choose to vote against Congress to punish you.
Well, inflation is a phenomenon which is being looked into by Government of India. And yes, I will not rule it out as not going to be a factor, We have factored that also in our assessment.
How badly will inflation damage your electoral prospects in Karnataka?
Well, it is too early to say how badly it is going to affect us.
But it will affect.
It will certainly have some impact on the votes that Congress.
In other words, in tightly fought seats, where with lower inflation you could have won, now with higher inflation, chances are you're going to lose them.
Well, that is a chance which we will have to take, and we are willing to take that.
That's the extent to which you've got problems. And now look what's happened on top of inflation. Suddenly in the last few days, the Hogan Nakal water scheme has come to hit you like a blow. It's an issue on which the UPA government can't take sides. But in Karnataka, that looks as if the Congress is going against the interests of Karnataka. And worst of all, the BJP and the JDS feel no such constraint. So once again, you've got a problem, no one else has it.
Well, we have stated our position on Hogenakkal project, The Tamil Nadu government has said it is going to be a drinking water proposition.
But you don't want them to go ahead, and they are going ahead, and that's the problem.
Drinking water proposition. And it will only matter, it accounts for 1.4 TMCFT of water.
If it's such a small project, why are you complaining? Because you have been.
Because the location of the project itself is under dispute. That is the contention.
Absolutely, and that's why you're saying don't go ahead until the Karnataka elections are over, but Tamil Nadu is insisting on going ahead. And if Tamil Nadu does go ahead, you've got a bigger problem. Your allies will be suffered and your opponents will get the advantage.
No, it will be a long way before Tamil Nadu can really take off on that project. There are a number of...
so you're saying to me it makes no impact on this election?
There are a number of hurdles which the Tamil Nadu government will have to overcome before they start the work.
No doubt, Mr. Krishna, but are you seriously saying to me that the Hogenakkal project will have no impact on your voters and on this election in Karnataka?
The Hogenakkal project, without government of Karnataka's consent, shall not take place.
How do you know that?
Yes.
Who said so?
I am saying it.
But the central government hasn't said it.
No. It is an interstate river water dispute.
But in 98, the central government gave permission.
We can always go to the Supreme Court,
To try and stay.
Always go to the Supreme Court. So that protection is there for every state.
So you're seriously considering going to the Supreme Court?
No, if it comes to that, then we have no other alternative.
Will Dr. Manmohan Singh and Sonia Gandhi let you do that?
To defend Karnataka's rights and rightful share of water.
But will Mrs. Gandhi and Dr. Manmohan Singh let you do that? After all, you go to the Supreme Court, the DMK will be very upset. The central government will suffer.
No, we are not really concerned whether the DMK is going to be upset or it is going to have an impact on the central government. All that we are concerned is how does this project affect Karnataka state in terms of water sharing arrangement between Karnataka and Tamil Nadu.
Mr. Krishna, you're not concerned how the central government is affected by this?
No, the central government might be affected.
Seriously affected, badly affected.
But Karnataka has to safeguard itself,
And so you're prepared to go to the Supreme Court, and you're prepared to annoy the DMK, and you're prepared to let the central government suffer the consequences.
No, I am not speculating, or I am not going to answer these hypothetical questions, Mr. Thapar. But all the limited point that I am trying to make is that the state of Karnataka has its own concerns, and those concerns will have to be met by Tamil Nadu, and that is the reason why I have repeatedly suggested that let a popular government, in 2 months' time we are going to have a popular government in Karnataka. Heavens are not going to fall.
See, it's very reasonable when you put it like that with that angelic smile on your face, but you know, and I know, that Dr. Karunanidhi is very unlikely to accept. He wants to get political capital for Tamil Nadu, just as you want to defend the interests of Karnataka. He's pushing, you're saying, hold up. There's an impasse. The person caught in the middle is Dr. Manmohan Singh. And now you're saying to me that you're prepared to let Dr. Manmohan Singh's government suffer consequences to defend your interest here.
I have so much confidence in Dr. Manmohan Singh's diplomatic skills. He has negotiated.
He needs magical skills, not diplomatic ones in this situation.
He has negotiated much more complex issues between allies, between states. And I'm sure that he will be able to find a solution.
Sounds as if you're hoping against hope, but let's take a break there. So far, we've talked about the external problems that constitute an obstacle for the Congress in Karnataka. Let's come back and talk about the internal divisions in your party. You may be smiling, but you know that those are the biggest handicap that you go into these elections with. We'll be back in a moment's time. See you after the break. Welcome back to Devil's Advocate and an interview with the former Chief Minister of Karnataka, S M Krishna. Mr. Krishna, in part one, we talked about the external problems that the Congress faces. Let's now come to your internal problems. The party is said to have 6 different factions, maybe 7. They're all pulling in different directions. The problem is they're not pulling together. That's the first problem you face.
Well, we have a good lineup of leaders in the Congress party.
In fact, you probably have too many leaders for safety.
Well, we have too many, and all of them can be accommodated, you know. All of them can be very respectably accommodated.
Except for the fact...
And then utilized.
Well, utilized they may be. Yeah. But respectfully accommodated they can't be, because they all want the top job if the party wins. You can't have 9 chief ministers.
Well, we cannot have 9 chief ministers, but we need to have 1 chief minister, and Congress has mastered the art of selecting chief ministers without upsetting the apple cart.
Well, that's to be seen this time round. To begin with, you're already losing people. On Wednesday, M. Mahadev and C. Ramesh resigned from your party. Some of their followers have left as well. That's the beginning of the problem. It's going to get worse, and you know that.
Well, a couple of individuals leaving the party, and many more individuals are willing to join the party. Party is strong, its base is strong, its roots are strong, so Congress certainly will overcome all this.
You see, it's not just a couple of individuals leaving, and even though you say the party is strong, today divisiveness is eating your strength. When you came back, the cadres welcomed your return. They saw hope in it. 8 other leaders were jealous. Mallikarjun Kharge made no secret of the fact that he wished you had stayed behind in Bombay, where he said you belonged. In fact, as a result, he put pressure on the centre to cancel your proposed Belgaum to Bangalore Yatra. So there was no great welcome for you.
Well, I didn't expect a great welcome. All that was done was to come back to the state and then take up a position which I have always done, listening to the Congress High Command. The very people who appointed Mr. Kharge as President of the Pradesh Congress have appointed so-and-so as President of the Management and campaign.
Quite right, but Mr. Kharge is sulking today.
Coordination.
But Mr. Kharge is sulking.
My job, Mr. Thapar, is to bring about coordination, and I have plunged myself totally in bringing about that coordination. And you will be surprised. You will be surprised that we shall succeed.
Well, those are pious words of hope. Mr. Kharge today is sulking, and you know that. And the worst point is that it's not just Mr. Kharge. You know that you have a serious division in your party, not just between factions, and you have so many factions you can't even count them. You have an even bigger division between old congressmen who want the reward of having been loyal, and the new people from the JDS who have to be given seats because otherwise they leave you yet again. And when it comes to seat distribution, how are you going to accommodate so many people?
Well, we will certainly work out those details, in consultation with all those, who have come into the party.
That's a non-answer, and you know it. You know that's a non-answer.
With those who have always been loyal to the Congress party, we have dealt with such situations earlier, and we shall deal with that situation.
Let me quote the Hindu to you. The party is finding it difficult to accommodate all those who have joined the party and persuade old-timers to work for the victory of the newcomers. And you know that that's a serious problem.
The delimitation of constituencies has taken place.
And that makes it even worse.
Let's not forget that, That means a number of constituencies have undergone a major change, and some of them marginal changes, as a result of which we have to make certain internal adjustments, even with reference to those who have been in the Congress party, who have been sitting members of the legislature Congress party. So I think these adjustments will be made,
You call them adjustments as if it was the doctor tinkering with a little medical sheet. The truth is, these are going to be painful cuts. You're going to be asking people to sacrifice their career, many people who've served Congress for a long time, in favor of people who've just come to Congress a month or 2 ago. You could have a revolt on your hands, and you know it. More people will be leaving like Ramesh and Mahadev.
Well, it is not the first time that things are like this are happening.
When you're prepared to let them
we
go.
We have Mr. Prakash coming in, with his 9 or 10 or so many other followers, apart from the legislators who were formerly
And all of them will want a seat.
all of them
And
have
all
come
of
in.
those seats will be at the cost of Congress interests.
No, you were talking about Mahadev leaving the party.
That's right.
But don't forget about Prakash, men like Prakash also coming into the party who have a much wider appeal.
Let me put it like this. If you're really so sanguine as you're trying to suggest, then why has the Congress been asking for the elections not to be held till December? Why is the Congress party so distressed that the Election Commission is holding them in May? You know you needed the time. You were hoping delimitation would give you the excuse for more time. And when the Election Commission refused, you know that you suffered.
I was one of those who welcomed the elections in the month of May.
But the rest of the party didn't, and you know it.
No,
Listen to Veerappa Moily in Delhi.
It is a fact that the Pradesh Congress President, Mr. Kharge, did suggest to the Election Commission that when about 64 lakh voters were deleted from the voters list, which was something unheard of.
And Mr. Moily made the same suggestion too.
Unheard of.
And Mr. Moily was critical of the Election Commission.
Okay, so when such abnormal developments took place, the suggestion was made by the Pradesh Congress President that a foolproof electoral rule must be the base on which the election should be held. And if in this process, if the elections have to be put off by a month or two, then the election
It wasn't a month or two.
should not
You wanted
rule
them
it
to
out.
drop for 6 months to
Should
December.
not rule it out.
And you may be sounding technical today in your explanation, but you know the real reason was you needed more time. You have to patch up the differences in your ranks. You have to overcome the problems that you face externally. You need more time desperately.
Well, every political party needed more time.
Not everyone.
but-
BJP
but
wants it immediately.
well, that's what they said for outside consumption. But we know what's happening inside,
Tell me this. Are you really confident, after all the problems we've been through, external, internal, not to mention the rivalries in your ranks, are you really confident Congress is going to win?
We will be inviting you for the swearing-in ceremony of a Congress Chief Minister in Karnataka in the
When
month
you
of
say
May.
we will be inviting you, will it then be S M Krishna's second swearing-in ceremony?
Well, one of the congressmen will be elected leader of the party in accordance with the procedures,
Let me ask you
the convention.
Let me ask you a blunt question,
Yes,
and I'll
sir.
invite you to give me an honest answer. Is S M Krishna a candidate for the Chief Minister's job?
S M Krishna will act as per the advice of the Congress High Command, which I have always consciously done.
Is S M Krishna hoping that he will be the Chief Minister?
It is not a question of hope or expectations. It is the question as to what the party wants, what the High Command wants.
If Sonia
and what
Gandhi
the
gives it to
what the
Kharge,
people
will
want.
you be upset?
What the people want.
If Sonia Gandhi gives it to Kharge, will you be upset?
Certainly not.
You mean that?
Certainly not,
Mr. Krishna, a pleasure talking to you on Devil's Advocate.
Thank you. Thank you.